for the day?
Oh, yes, madam. Sewing shop trainees.
How are you getting on?
Oh, better, madam. I only broke 3 needles today. The instructor, she says, don't worry, you pick it up in time. I told her that's one thing we got, time.
Well, I expect you're ready for tea.
Too right. I could eat a horse, tail and all.
That's it. Come along now.
I bet it's Welsh rabbit. I only wish the chef could put some curry powder on it sometimes.
Well, perhaps the others wouldn't like that as much.
Well, that's the whole point. Then I get second helping.
Barbara, will you hurry up, please?
Good day, madam.
Hello, Reba. Have you seen Mr. Prentice?
The chaplain hasn't been in this afternoon, madam.
I see, thank you. It's time for tea, you know. You should be back in your wing.
Of course, madam. Thank you.
That's the lot, then.
Aye, and they're late again.
Well, you can't hurry them. You know what they're like.
If I'd my way, they'd have no tea at all if they were late.
He's having to lock and unlock so many doors. The timetable doesn't allow for
The
it.
timetable also says I finish at 4:30. I have to wait behind here every day for half an hour just because they won't get a move on.
What did I say? Cold Welsh rabbit and no curry. Oh.
Move along now.
There's 1 release, 1 transfer to Ascombe, and 2 to Beach Street Magistrates Court.
Oh, no, that's another 3.
What's wrong, Chief?
Well, I'm understaffed as it is. I've 88 prison officers. With transfers and court lists, there's 54 on escort duty tomorrow.
54?
And with what's left, I'm supposed to run a prison.
Well, how can you manage?
Same as usual, cancel all day leave, ask for volunteers for night duty.
Well, I'll stay on a bit later tomorrow.
Thank you, Miss Harker.
Oh, sorry, Miss Hart.
No, it's all right, Pat.
It was just something I heard on the radio in the sewing shop. Elaine Reynolds. She got 2 years.
2 years?
She's lucky.
Well, how can you say that?
She killed her own father, poisoned him.
But he had an incurable disease. He was in agony.
That's what she says. And in any case, that doesn't make it right. Now, if you'll excuse me.
Sorry to have kept you waiting. I was looking for the chaplain. Oh, good tea.
He's gone over to that vagrants hostel at Camberwell. Old Millie Jones is in there.
I see. Is she all right?
I'm afraid not. Apparently she's pretty bad, and she's been asking for him.
Oh, dear. Well, when he comes in, will you ask him to be sure to see Elaine Reynolds when she arrives here tonight?
Right.
Yes, I hear she's to be our guest for some time.
I gather you don't approve, Miss Clark.
Oh, do you, Mrs. Boswell?
Well, luckily, we're not asked to approve or disapprove. Our duty is to uphold the judgment of the court.
But you must have an opinion. She nursed him for nearly 3 years, watching him slowly disintegrate.
Yes, and then one day she quite calmly mixed a lethal dose of morphine, which he'd been given to relieve his pain, and gave it to him, and then sat holding his hand until he died. I don't suppose any of us can imagine the strain she must have been under.
She couldn't watch him suffer anymore. No one could call it murder.
Unfortunately, at the trial this afternoon, her mother was brought back to the stand for a routine question. She broke down and said that her husband had borne his suffering cheerfully, that he was looking forward to getting better and had never wanted to die. She said that Elaine had killed him out of selfishness because she was tired of looking after him. It was unexpected, emotional, and told heavily against Elaine with the jury.
Yes, well, it would.
So now she's to be locked up here for the next 2 years.
No, not here, Miss Clark. As a first offender, long term, she'll be sent to an open prison. We'll only have her for a week or 2 until she's processed.
I'm sorry, Mrs. Boswell. I saw a lot of that girl while she was on remand. I just find it quite inhuman after all she's been through.
Yes, well, it's not for us to judge, Miss Clark. Our job is to see that she's treated with understanding while she's with us. These first few weeks of her sentence are going to be the hardest for her.
Yes, of course.
I suppose as a first offender you'll want her to go on North Wing until she's transferred to open prison?
Yes. In any case, I think that Janet Harker is the best one to deal with her.
Wait here.
Home from home. Still, we're lucky we got baby doll. Who? She's the assistant governor on this wing. She's right soft. Look, Elaine, we stick together, right? Get a crib on our own. You don't want to double up with none of them slags. I know what goes here. I'll look after you.
Well, well, if it ain't June. I thought you was never coming back here.
Hello, Barbara. Hello, Reed. Made you a trusty, have they?
Chapel Red Band.
Chapel? Hey, I bet you was ever so disappointed when you found they didn't take no collection.